Today, I'm so excited. We have the Jane Latman.
Aw.
First time.
She's here.
I don't know what to do with Mike because I'm like trying to look at both. I'm in the middle. I'm in the worst spot. Jane Latman, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. You're not supposed to fangirl over your guests. I told you this when we had talked earlier, but I am your first ever podcast guest.
Number one.
So it's
and
going to
the
suck.
fangirl goes both ways.
No. So we're going to suck at this, but we're really pumped that you're here. Jane and I crossed paths through HGTV. I'm going to give you an introduction here in a second. But for anyone listening or watching, gosh, what year was it? 2019, technically?
Well, the
That's
show,
when you took... Okay.
the pilot came in 2018, didn't it?
Well, let's back up. I'm going to do an introduction to Jane.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Put a pin in
Hey,
this.
who's Jane Latman?
Put a pin in this. Put a pin in this because I have something that I put into ChatGPT. I literally asked ChatGPT, which I'm not a huge user of, but this guy likes it. And I was like...
It's great for research.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to ask ChatGPT who Jane Latman is. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Hesitant.
You never know what that thing's going to say.
I know. It makes you sound really great. So ChatGPT states, Jane Latman is a seasoned television executive with decades of leadership experience in nonfiction and lifestyle programming. Since 2003, she has built her career at Discovery, now Warner Brothers Discovery, now not. I think something else went down there. We're not sure. Where she has played pivotal roles in transforming several networks and superheading hit shows. Jane Latman is foremost known for her outstanding leadership in unscripted television, particularly driving explosive growth of ID, Investigation Discovery, turning into a top-tier network, revitalizing and expanding content across multiple cable brands like the Travel Channel, HGTV, Food Network, with compelling franchises and talent. Consistent industry recognition as one of cable's most powerful and influential women executives, bridging crime and lifestyle programming, culminating in launching her own creative production imprint. Wow. Dang!
I'm hiring ChatGPT as my agent.
That's great. You forgot the one thing I was like, also, one of the most pivotal things was greenlighting HGTV's popular show, No Demo Reno. That's
Yes,
on there.
it's on here. So it says, one more thing. Jane Latman's tenure as president of HGTV starting in 2019 onward was really influential. She greenlit and launched several of the network's most popular brand-defining shows. Many of them turned into franchises or cultural talking points. And one of those...
Wow.
I like that cultural talking point.
yeah.
Right? And one of those shows was No Demo Reno. And that is how our paths have crossed and why she's sitting in this chair today.
That's awesome.
Aw, thank you.
You're impressive.
That's awesome.
I mean, I know you're impressive before ChatGPT told me, but
I'm excited because I've only been proxy to some of the calls that you've been on with Jen in the background, listening, taking notes and things like that. So it's awesome to meet you in person.
You too,
And
likewise.
So yeah, and I know you've been, from everything you've been, a fan of Jen and supporting of her and, really encouraging of her personality to come through television and to keep that authentic. And as a, husband of Jen who, loves her dearly and is protective of her, it's awesome to have somebody who was on her side. And so thank you for that, adventure for the last, over 4 years of your life that you were part of that. So it's awesome.
that was always the talk track is like, and we'll get into that, but when you decided to leave and pursue your own thing, the talk track was everyone. I don't know if you knew this, but even my exec was like, Jane Latman is leaving, but it's okay. You're going to be fine. And I was like, the amount at which people are telling me this makes me think I might not be fine. And it's because everyone said you were such like a champion of the show and you were like excited about it.
I love that show. Yeah.
It was awesome. And so I did have that was my first little ting of like, I guess I was a little scared because I was like, okay, she likes me. I know I'm the weird girl of HGTV. Is she really the only one who actually sees this as potential? That's how I felt. So when you left, I thought about you more than you realize.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Well, I guess I'll ask the question. So you talked about, do you remember when the show came across, the sizzle reel or the pilot? Like, how did that come about? What's that process like with HGTV or from a behind the scenes production standpoint? Because there's so many people that have no idea how the industry works. Like, just from your point of view, like how did things come? And I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts are in general. Like,
Yeah, there's a whole development process. That's what we call it, the development process. Pitches come in all the time. We get, every day we get pitches. Some pitches come in like a little paragraph. Some pitches come in with like a whole write-up and a tape. Yours came in that way, at least by the time I saw it. And then it has like levels of like first, the person, a development executive looks at it, then they bring it to the whole team, and then it goes up and up, or it winnows down, right? From hundreds and hundreds down to like a green light meeting where there's maybe, in every network it's different, but for HGTV, we would have, maybe 12 things in a green light meeting, and green light maybe half of those, and maybe out of the other half, 3 would go back for more work, and then 3 would pass or something like that. But it changes in every green light meeting.
It's almost it's almost like a business pitch at that point. It's just things coming across my note.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know business pitches.
Well, it sounds similar.
Yeah. It's pitch. It's looking at so many different ideas, so much different talent. And I remember the No Demo Reno pitch came to me at an early meeting. It wasn't at Greenlight because I saw things early. And I was like, let's cultivate this. Like, look at her. Like, I was thinking about it. I'm going to date myself a little bit, and it's like even older than me, but like, I Love Lucy.
Yes.
I get that all
said
the
that.
time.
You did?
My mom always says
Yes.
that.
Yes. I was like, she's like Lucille Ball.
Oh,
And you made me laugh.
a crazy good compliment.
That's
to
a great
me.
compliment.
She's like my favorite, most influential in TV. Yeah.
And more just from a talent standpoint. It's just the what she did from a standpoint of production and everything. She was
They don't like that part of me.
Yeah.
She really was.
She was a maven.
Look at you, bringing it back
You listened
to episode 1. Thank you. This is awesome. See, look at it. Brought that word's trending.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's up there now.
Probably.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
And I think the concept was really good too. Not everything should be like full on renovation. That takes a really long time. That's really expensive, right? And that's how this was pitched. It was like, can be done quickly. You've got this great talent. And like you said, we had no one else like you on the air. And I don't remember how quickly it went from pitch to green light, but it feels to me in my memory like it was like, let's go. And the deal takes time. Everything takes more time than you think in TV.
Yes. I remember. So I remember correctly, something happened, a first merger before Warner Brother with like Scripps.
Yes.
And you came in right during that.
Yes.
And everyone was kind of worried because we got the okay interest from HGTV, and originally they wanted to make it a 30-minute show with me. And then the whole merger happened, and all the shows got like shelved for like 6 months because everyone was trying to like set their new roles and what they're doing. So there was a minute there where we were like hearing crickets, and I'm like, okay, well, it was fun for a minute, and and then it picked back up, and I think it's because of you. I think
it's like the highs and the lows, right? It's like
because it took a year and a half from shooting. So a sizzle reel, we'll break down television here. A sizzle reel. So not everyone had to make a sizzle reel. That's interesting.
No, at HGTV, you ended up with a sizzle reel. Sometimes it comes in not with a sizzle reel.
Okay.
It comes in as a paragraph, and it's like, okay, well, now flesh that out to a page or a couple pages, and then it's like, okay, now let's do a sizzle reel.
Takes
but usually we do tape.
Okay, so a sizzle reel is how many minutes was it? I don't even remember.
I don't remember,
like
but it can be
5
anywhere.
minutes.
Yeah, it can be
It's like
anywhere
15
from
minutes, I think.
50.
Yours was short.
There's no way. Mine was short. And so a sizzle reel is literally just like a test run where you like fake out a television show to see how the talent looks on camera. And you're trying to describe, like I did an intro of like, I'm Jennifer Todrick and it's literally like a fake little truncated show in like 5 minutes or whatever. And I just remember it being the weirdest thing because I remember they took me out to a barn in like Fort Worth and I had to hammer nails in, and I was like,
they took you out to another production set. It was
another show.
It was a show that was on DIY Network. It was their big one that they had there. So they took you out to that subdivision, and you're just in some random home, and there was like construction going on. And you're like, here's a shelf, and you were talking about the shelf.
What I would do, design. Yeah. They just want to see probably confidence, right, and being in front of a camera, and like if it translates, right?
Yeah, how could you put someone on air and do a show around them without knowing if they kind of pop on camera, right?
Yeah. And so that was crazy.
A proof of concept, does this work? How does this play out? Or like a trailer. It's almost like a trailer.
Yeah. And so to go even more, I don't want to say basic, but like a lot of people still don't realize how television's made. It's there's the network, which is in this story, Discovery, HGTV, the network. And then there's the production companies that are all these little companies that you are in the credits at the end. And the production companies are the ones typically seeking talent and making the show. And then they throw it to HGTV and they watch it. And they're like, yes, we'll give you money to fund the show. Go make it. And then you guys give notes along the way as you're getting footage coming in.
Well, yeah. And it's kind of like a partnership.
Yes.
Yeah. Like in partnership,
yeah.
You know, we know what's going on in the field, but we're not in the field necessarily. But sometimes executives do come out to the field, and we're commissioning it, we're paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like realistic. Like I'm thinking of even my job, and maybe this will hit closer to like people understanding. Like if someone's doing like a commercial for something, or even like an ad read or a brand deal, the company will be like, here, this is a sale. These are the notes we need to hit. Is kind of the same thing for TV. You're like, we want her to do this. We really want to hit the budget was low, which my season 1 aired, or it was shot pre-COVID. So my budgets for like 6 rooms was $50K. Yes, because we were shooting.
No, it was shot during COVID.
No. That's season 1. My pilot episode.
Oh, the pilot.
Where we did that house.
Yes, yeah.
I did 6 rooms for $50,000.
That's true.
And so the first season.
Which became episode 1.
Yes.
You're right. Sorry, you're right. Because, that's right.
So I always would see feedback, not always, but every once in a while. I feel like the show didn't get a ton of negative, but when it did, it was like, what happened to the realistic budgets? I'm like, yeah, well, COVID happened. So we started with like 50,000, 60,000. And then end of season 3, we were up in like the 200s for the same amount. The budget drastically changed because we couldn't get anything.
Well, I was gone by then.
Yeah, she left
already.
You
did during that point. Yeah, it was a wild change of expectations of it. And at least the show, you know, the actual main season started filming, I think it was March of 2020. So that was a good time to start filming.
Yeah, really good.
Oh,
that was rough.
It was messy.
Yeah, I mean,
we couldn't talk about it.
Well, I mean, how did you? I mean, you had moved on to another network at the time.
No. So I started in August of 19.
Yep.
And then in March of 20, we all know what happened.
Yep.
And we all had to we had to like band together on Zoom. People weren't used to Zoom, and then figure out how to do shows remotely.
Yeah.
Without too many people in the same room, if any, and all of that. I mean, I think at first we just shut down for a minute and kind of got our bearings and figured out the technology of it all. And I mean, this is terrible to say, that part maybe was kind of exciting. And it was also a way just personally for me to like, and my team to have something to focus on besides what was going on in the world. Cause it was really scary for everybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we did figure it out. We did some shows like, I don't remember the name. But one where like
I know you're talking
design
about.
at your doorstep kind of thing where everything's delivered.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then people self-shoot like them doing their redesign. And that was kind of fun.
It's smart. Did it hit? Like, was it?
It hit at the time. Everything hit at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody was home and everybody was looking around their homes going, you know, I need an office in my home and I need separation from this. And I need, you know, and so there's a lot of renovation going on.
Right.
I actually renovated my kitchen during
it. Yeah, COVID. I mean, people weren't moving at that time, so they were like, "Let's internally do it."
And all the backyard stuff, right? People were like, "Let's put a kitchen outside." I mean, it was very home centric.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was a trying time, and we every corporation and company was like, "How are we going to figure this out?" And you're right, as far as like the unknown was like the part was like, "How bad is this?" Because it was, you know, depending on who you were talking to, it was like the world was ending or it was no big deal. Or it's like literally but navigating through the complexity of corporate side and obviously the policies and attorneys and everything, it's just a whole other ball game. And the fact that you were able to move forward with production and do it safely and do it things even, you know, regardless of the people's opinion on it, you still did it. It was a really, really solid production despite complexity. A lot of complexity.
Yeah.
We were scheduled to shoot April 2020, and I don't hardly remember any details. I have the worst memory, but I do vividly remember we were supposed to shoot April 2020, and I know y'all shut down because we didn't shoot.
That's right.
Until when?
Summer.
Or you don't remember?
In the middle of the summer.
So it took a few months.
Like a couple of months.
Well, it's just like because, you know, what are the protocols and what are we going to need to do and how do we,
Well, we didn't want to talk about it. And I'm like living this life also on social media, and I'm literally shooting a TV show in the middle of all this. So I'm sure people had horrible thoughts to say about that. And like, why aren't you at home? And I'm like, I promise we're at home. We filmed with what we called skeleton crews.
Yeah.
So you had like one of everything, except I will say I was so blessed in that I had multiple cameras from day one, which thank you for that budget. However they made that work. There's some shows that I know of, even to this day, they start with one cam, which means you have to do like every scene like 3 times for different angles.
So that the camera can get you from different angles, yeah.
Which kills, I'm sorry, but it kills the authenticity to me. Kills it.
Because you're doing it again and again.
100%. But with TV, they're like, no, this is 100% authentic. Just do it again, just like you did it. I'm like, that's not authenticity. Like, I had such a beef with that. So I didn't have to mess with that. And I was happy.
Which people don't realize, this production we actually have, when you're watching on YouTube, there's only one camera. So we're actually repeating conversations.
Whatever. Whatever.
We got 3. How about that? Look at how advanced this is. I want to talk about the show as well, and then I want to, like, one thing you brought up about COVID. I am curious, as I'm going to come back to this, because I'm curious about like how I think it changed the way people consume media during the thing, going at home, and whether it's from going to the cinema, to home, to online streaming. Like, the entire industry was kind of disrupted around that 2020 timeframe, right?
But it would have been anyway, right?
You think so?
Well, because streaming was like taking off.
Do you think it accelerated it?
I do.
Like, so you think it would have happened eventually, but you think it absolutely accelerated that?
Yeah, because the way people watch streaming is different from the way they watch not streaming.
True.
And so, everything on demand and all that. And they just, I do think it accelerated it. Probably. But
it's going to go that way anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it will. I agree with that. I mean, we talked in the first episode or second episode about like what our kids want to do when they, like our kindergartners, they were talking about like what they want to do when they grow up. And it was like, most of them were YouTubers and influencer. Like, that's where people aren't saying movie stars. They're not saying, TV star. They're saying
Jane. When I tell you, I was like, I'm pretty sure my kids don't know the word influencer. And I did not. I was like, please don't say it. Please don't say it. Like, because I look like I'm like grooming my child to do social media. And she walked up there and she was like, Vivian Todrick wants to be a chef. And I was like,
yes. That's an easy
for now.
Yeah. Oh, that's the hardest. We'll deal with that later.
Totally.
Jane.
Yeah. We probably have a lot of experience on that one.
Okay, friends, quick make-show break to talk about the sponsor of this podcast today, TanCeuticals. If you follow me over on Instagram, then you have heard me talk about TanCeuticals tanning mousse for years. I love it. It is my favorite self-tanner to use all year round. It doesn't leave you orange, and if you are not good at applying self-tanner, it is super forgiving because there's absolutely no streaking. I love TanCeuticals because it's very natural, there's no smell, and it obviously just goes on the skin so easily. The mousses go on super smooth and hydrate your skin while giving you the most gorgeous glow. Honestly, it is a self-tanner that I use year-round. The best part is they've made it so easy for you to grab exactly what I use. Just head to tanceuticals.com/products/the-gen-kit to check out the Gen Kit. And because you're listening today, you can use my code 20redhead for 20% off your order. Again, that's code 20redhead for 20% off at tanceuticals.com/products/the-gen-kit. That's TANCEUTICALS.com/the-gen with 2 N's -kit.
I want to go back earlier. Like, how did you get into this? I mean, I'm sure there's so many people. Like, how does somebody end up as a media executive? I mean, that's a hard business to get into. Like, tell us your genesis.
I kind of am the kind of person who like just kind of follows my nose. Like, I didn't plan any of my career, so I don't know if that's good advice or bad advice.
I can relate to that.
It's like my mother always said, follow your bliss.
Yeah.
And
it's great advice, actually.
It is. I mean, it's not very practical, but it can be if you work hard and all that good stuff. But so I really love theater. And so I majored in theater in college, and it's where I kind of found my people. And then after college, I was doing that and waitressing and bartending. And then, 5 years later, out of college, I was like carrying a case of beer up from the basement in the bar at 2 a.m. And I was like, I kind of want to at some point settle down. I wanted to have kids. I knew that for sure. And I was like, yeah, this lifestyle, the kid, like, even if if my career takes off as a theater director, like, the kid will have to come to rehearsals at night because rehearsals were at night. It was just like, what else can I do?
So you found yourself more not on the acting side of things, but more the production, direction. That was always your interest in being like the choreographer of it.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Okay.
It still is the case.
So what did you do to get on with that?
I started talking to people at the bar, like informational interviews, and people in media. And like, I was in Washington, D.C. at the time, and there were a lot of news people. And I was like, yeah, news doesn't sound like what I want to do. And then there was this thing called like unscripted television. And I thought, and there was National Geographic in D.C. And DC also had Discovery. It had it had PBS, and a lot of different TV was there. And I actually went to a temp agency. Do temp agencies exist anymore?
They still do, yeah.
Okay. And I was like, I found ones that, or one that places people in media. And so
really,
they gave me a job. Like I got a temporary job answering phones at a post-production house, which I didn't even know what that was. I was like, what's post-production? Which is the editing phase of things. And then, took all these little jobs. And then one day I got a job, like they needed a temporary assistant at National Geographic. And I was like, oh, and I walked in. I was like, I'm at National Geographic.
Yeah.
Which was very exciting. And I ended up being there for a few years and just learned everything I could. I was like assisting, then I did some research and fact checking, and then and then I started evaluating ideas that were coming in at the lowest level, right? I had boss after boss,
Yeah.
And that's where I started doing like development of TV shows.
Wow.
And then left and did production.
How old were you when you took that assistant job?
27.
Okay.
So you work,
Starting all over.
Do you
27.
think? Do you think is that a normal pathway in television and media where you literally start at the bottom and grind your way up? Work, like that's the pathway. So it's like it's not an instant expectation. It's not like, hey, I have a MBA from Harvard and I'm coming in as an
if you have an MBA from Harvard, maybe you don't start. Maybe you start as a coordinator or a manager.
Right.
Yeah.
But you still have to learn the business on the ground, right?
Right.
And a lot of people, whether it's at a production company, a television network, or an agency where the agents work, you get in and you work your butt off.
Right.
Were there a lot of women in the field at that time?
Yeah, I think unscripted television has a lot of women. I'm just thinking back, like, yes, but at the highest levels, no.
Men.
Yeah.
I was about to say it feels like a very men-dominated industry.
That's the highest levels.
Well, even at the level I was at, there were some days where it was me and like one PA.
Well, I will say crews out in the field doing production, the camera people, the sound people tend to be men. I was at a shoot yesterday for my new company, and it was all women from my company working on the ground, and then the entire crew, the production assistant, cameraman, sound man, and assistant cameraman were men. And maybe that's a lot.
It's heavy equipment. The camera, people don't know this. The one camera is 40 pounds on their shoulders all day.
All day.
All day. And so we'd take breaks really quick. Like if we were
stretch and
do it. Yes. That we'd take breaks where we say cameras down, and it's literally just for them to stand there and like do this or stretch. And
it's a lot on the body.
They never asked for breaks, but like my showrunners are really good. And we're so my show's a renovation show. Our shoot time was summer in Texas with no AC in the projects. There were times where I would see Feder, Ryan, my DP, like sweat would drip from his elbows onto the floor because it was just so dang hot. And then what's even heavier is audio bag. The audio bag for the audio guy straps on from the back. He wears it like a backpack, except it sits in the front. And it's crazy. So I get why. I think I saw one female audio in the 4 years I was in front of TV. So I get that. But I wondered if corporate was different.
Again, it's like, I think at the highest levels, it's still more male. But
why do you think?
It's
a genuine question.
What do you think?
Because you see that across, the ratios of male to female CEOs across all corporations is disproportionately higher male still.
What else could it be but some sort of sexism, right? What else?
And this is just a general question. This isn't asking. Do you think having families or the expectation of women putting themselves in families holds people back from a standpoint?
I think so, whether it's conscious or unconscious.
Right. Yep. That's
right?
What it.
Like if a woman of a certain age, say, 28 to 35 or doesn't have kids, but is married and comes in. And I mean, maybe subconsciously or consciously, the hiring manager is like, yeah, but I might lose them to have, for months at a time. I don't know. I mean, I've hired people who were like 7 months pregnant. I knew they were about to have a baby, but I was like, you're worth waiting for.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think women sometimes maybe put that on themselves?
Probably.
Yeah. How did you manage this? Because I know you have a family, right?
Yep. I had one son, or I have one son. But I didn't know. I mean, no. And also,
what do you mean put that upon themselves?
I was just more curious. Like,
I know. What do you mean by that?
Meaning like if it's from a standpoint of like, well, for you right now, you're pausing. You took a pause in production intentionally because you want to focus your time. It's your choices.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
And I'm not saying that, like, again, it's almost a societal thing. And again, everyone has their own choices. Like, our standpoint is like, obviously traditional, old school, man works, woman stays home. Life's changed throughout the time as far as for people, the way they manage their families. Like, I think everyone believe it's important to have a solid family structure for your children. Like, regardless of the male or female, you need to have a structure for your children of consistency and love and all those things, right? But as far as for like your choice, like as a guy, I would say it's like, well, I don't even think about that. Like, it's my job. I'm going to keep working. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like Jen's making a choice.
But some men say, you know what? I don't want to miss out on these moments. I'm going to,
Yeah. I don't think women put it on themselves. I think women are, this is a hot topic. I think women are more motivated or aspirational when it comes to, I'm going to try to have it all. I'm going to have the family. I'm going to try to, some women, career women, I'm going to do the latter thing. Whereas men are very much more compartmentalized in everything, in every aspect. Whereas women are like, I can handle one more thing. Whereas men are like, I don't want to, I'm already doing this. Like, they will literally use it as an excuse for why they can't do one more thing because they're already doing one thing. I feel
do they say it just like that?
Yeah.
I can't do anymore.
I know this is, I'm shooting shots here, but shots fired at men. I'm really not. I'm just saying, I don't like the way like we put it upon ourselves. I get what you're saying because of the choices we make, but I think women are very much like heels in the dirt, all 10 toes in the sand. I want my family, and I'm also going to try to go for this.
And that's not me. That's not me saying like, because I think there's elements of everything, and I agree. There's absolutely systemic things that people just have a basis like, well, that guy's 6'2", he seems like he's that guy needs to be in a leadership thing, and there's really all these things that have not great reasons why people are in senior leadership from where they should be. I've seen it personally in corporations, right? And it's like, judge people based on the talent of what they are and what they bring into. And obviously you've risen through those things, and I
want to hear that. I want to hear, so you had a family. So where were you when you were having your son, and how did that transition into you doing your job?
I had just started at Warner Brothers, or at Discovery at the time. Okay. And, or that's not true. I had been there maybe a year and a half or something like that.
It was ID, right?
Yeah, eventually it was ID. I started a different channel, and then it became ID.
Okay.
And obviously cut back to what I said about having children. I was like, my dream was coming true. I was going to have a baby.
Yeah.
And things were going very well at work too. And, but there was also a change at work. They went public, which meant that they were going to restructure things. And it was happening exactly when I gave birth to Alex. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, well, they're going to be like making changes. Maybe this is time to go and go back to producing and freelancing and have that flexibility.
Right.
And but then my boss was like, no, I think you should come back. And I was like, I don't know. And I was sitting out on my porch, and I looked down at my baby sleeping, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to leave this little peanut at all, ever.
Yeah.
For the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then I was talking to my boss, and then I was like, well, I know what happened. I looked at like the health insurance requirements. I mean, this was part of it.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you work more than 24 hours or more a week, you get benefits. And I was like, well, maybe I should be responsible. And and I said, well, how about if I came back part-time? And he was like, I don't know about that. And he said, let me think about it. And he came back and he said, yes.
What a boss.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, he's
shout out to him.
Yeah. He's the best.
That's awesome.
So I was like, okay. So I set up this arrangement where I could work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then have Friday through Monday, 4 days of not working and being with Alex and getting kind of the best of both worlds. And actually, that's when ID started to percolate. Okay. So I was like, I'll do this for 3 months. I'll do the part-time thing for 3 months and then make a decision. And by the end of the 3 months, it was a summer, and my mother was able to come. She lived a few hours away, and she would come on Monday night, take care of him, nanny him. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I know.
What a blessing. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was like such a happy time. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then she would go back home Thursday night, and then I'd be there. So all family, right?
Yeah.
And excuse me. And then by the end of that summer, ID was starting to happen, and I was like, well, this is really cool. And it still was conflicting. Like, my boy grew up as my career blew up.
Yeah.
And it was always a balance, and but I think technology also helped. And I had a BlackBerry.
Oh yeah.
And that was new.
I did, yeah.
So for everybody out there, we didn't always have the cell phones. We didn't always have the same way of being able to kind of work from anywhere. So I just remember you take a nap, and even, so it was very fluid. Like, I could always keep up. The BlackBerry made it.
Don't you guys just
possible.
miss the BlackBerry days though?
No, I don't.
I do.
You mean because it was simpler?
Yeah. I mean, it's good to be connected.
Yeah, sometimes I do. You
know what I mean?
With all
like
the password and give them code.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah.
Passwords.
Well, that's true. Like, it's constant like distraction. That's
you're right.
That's, I mean, I know it's a weird take, and that's kind of
BlackBerry was like almost like just enough.
Just enough. That's kind of right. It's like there's like,
and it was it was still a phone. Yeah.
But it wasn't as like, everything was right there, like constant. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm hearing this and I'm like feeling like your job was pretty progressive. Like, I don't know what date we're in, but like.
They were. I mean, they were. Discovery always was a really family-oriented place.
Awesome. That's and I feel like the TV industry is not super like.
No, and I mean, I don't know about other places, right? But I know how hard the work is, and I know it's gotten even harder. And it's just gotten, like I said, harder. I think a lot of places are laying people off, and that means you have more work.
Yeah.
One person doing the job of three, so it's going to be harder. True. Yeah, I don't know if that would happen today. I haven't looked, I should ask somebody to look up the guidelines, and does it still say if you work 24 hours or more, you get all the benefits? And it wasn't just because of the benefits that I went back. I mean, it was a good choice for my family. My husband's a producer. He didn't have, he was freelance, and it was like, this could provide stability, but it was also the love of the work. Like,
yeah.
Sure. So you understood it as well too. So you had a relationship, a commonality of what this world was, right?
Yeah. And I was working with great people. And, it was so fun. Like, one of my happiest memories, my son just went off to college, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But is like him growing up in the halls of Discovery, like on a day off. I also worked a mile from home. I mean,
Oh, that's awesome.
So I could.
Where is this? Where was this?
This is right outside DC.
Okay.
So if he had like a little recital or those cute things that kids do on stages.
Yeah.
And I would run over, I could schedule my own time and run out and do that. Not everybody can do that.
I was
right?
like, that is not what I picture when I think of TV corporate industry. I think of really the work never stops. You're constantly looking and developing, even on napkins. You see like in movies, like. It's
we were
but
it got more. I mean, my career, as I got promoted, it got more intense.
Okay, so what was your next?
So I was at ID for a long time. So was a manager, then director, then and then by the time I was getting promoted to vice president, my boss said, "There's one thing," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You can't be a vice president and be part time. That's in that manual as well, the guidelines."
Yeah,
and I was like ready, and I don't remember exactly how old he was, but he was definitely in school, whether it was preschool or kindergarten or something like that. No, it was preschool.
Okay.
Because I remember we had a part-time nanny take him to preschool.
Okay.
Or to pick him up.
Yeah.
And so I went full-time, but it wasn't that different because, again, like the technology, I was always working, and I was also able to always not work.
Yeah.
But not to act like it was easy. I mean, my son one time as a toddler said, "No more Popberry, Mom."
Oh.
Yeah.
And that still sticks with me, right?
I mean, our kids, if you think about it, like stepping away from work for like parents who have guilt for like being away, just know that we are at our home working 24/7, and the amount of times we have to say we have to finish this work is way more than what these people say who get to leave. If you think about it, because they're in our faces 24/7, and we have to constantly choose work to them in that second, and it's heartbreaking, and it's so awesome that we get to be around and be present. But it's like I told Mike the other day, I was like, I feel like we have to say we have to work way more than a parent that just leaves and then comes back. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think a good work ethic is setting a good example. That's one of the ways I've justified it. I really do. Like, career is important if it's important to you, right?
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah, it sounds like your work ethic is next level too, from just standpoint of how you started to came into the career. Like, even just saying, you talked about working in the service industry. We own, restaurant, bar, coffee shops. We own it. We really do understand how hard the service industry people work. It's wild, and I think that's fun though. But it builds an ethic, right? Like, to know that what you put in is what you're going to get out, and I think that is something that is hopefully part of the development phase of maybe you and everyone who comes to our businesses. And it's like, I hope as people move up, it's like, hey, use this as an opportunity to learn and grow those things, right? Yeah.
So I always say everybody should work in a restaurant for at least a month of their life.
Don't you treat servers so much different than if you didn't know, right? Where you're like, wow, it's crazy. Yeah.
So you're a waitress, bartender, temp assistant, fast forward to manager. There's some things in there. I remember you saying.
No worries.
You're now VP, which is vice president. So what was your first job that would be at the same level or tier as being president of HGTV, or was that the biggest at the time?
That was the biggest. So I got I was made general manager of smaller channels.
Okay.
On the way. So there was Discovery Fit and Health, and we relaunched it to Discovery Life. Yeah. That was a small channel. Okay. There was Destination America, but and cable, had stopped growing at a certain point. And then so these small channels weren't getting bigger. Okay. And then I was given Travel Channel, and that was a big turning point because that was a bigger
one.
And then it was after that, that's when a new boss came in because of the merger with Scripps. And then she asked me if I wanted to come run HGTV. And I was like, what? I was like, have you seen my house? I literally said that.
I wouldn't even think of that, but that's funny.
Me?
I mean, you guys, you haven't seen my house. It's not... I need you to come and help me.
No, the fact that you think that's a qualifier to make television choices is hilarious.
Well, I learned it wasn't.
Yeah. No, that makes but I think that's hilarious. It's just makes
But my boss was awesome. She was also over Food Network. So she goes, have you seen my kitchen? That was her answer. And she said, think about it and we'll move, you'll have to move to New York. And we were ready for a change. And I'm from New York and my mom is in New York and getting older, right? So I was like, this could be a great opportunity. So I sent my husband a picture of a sailboat.
Please.
And said, let's move to New York. And he was like, what? Because all he thought about with New York was the city. Right. That's where my mother lives. And I was like, we could, fulfill that dream of getting a sailboat and live somewhere near the water. We could do that. It doesn't have to be anything fancy.
Right.
That's what we did.
Oh my
That's awesome.
gosh.
And you're still out in New York now?
Yeah, we saw that sailboat.
Hey, there you go. That's so cool.
It's named Banshee, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool.
Are you guys a sailing family? Is that something you guys do?
Yeah, he's the sailor. I'm a good passenger.
There you go. Did you take your son? Is he gotten into that as well?
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome. I know people with something. I'm not really a water guy. I grew up in Milwaukee, even though it's kind of on the water, but it's not.
It's more water than here. I was Fort Worth.
I had an opportunity. I got accepted to Annapolis as well, so I went to West Point, but I got accepted, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't want to be on the water. I am not a great swimmer. Water is not my thing. So more power. That's awesome.
And it was great. The COVID again, it was so that's what my son and husband did, and I did too. But during COVID, because my husband had to relearn how to sail, and it was pretty cool.
That's a fun hobby, yeah, to take on.
Yeah, and
you were just in New York.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Well, whenever I went a year and a half ago, I don't remember if I emailed Sarah, my exec, or it wasn't you. Maybe it was Sarah. I was like, I'm coming to New York. I want to meet with you guys. And we literally just sat down. I don't even remember what we talked about, but I just wanted to say hi. And that's the one and only time besides right now that I met you.
In person.
In person.
Yeah,
I talked to you on the phone. Talked to you on the phone.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do too. And I remember being like, she seems so normal. And that's a good, I mean that as a good thing, but I was like, I think I remember telling you, I was like, I just met the president of HGTV and like, she seems like someone you'd just like sit and talk to.
It's a down to earth, normal. Yeah. She's like, she's not like,
you weren't stuffy.
She didn't feel like you were angling for anything. That's,
Yeah, I'm not a corporate type.
Yeah.
And that's why it was like, it's pretty surprising. Like I call myself the accidental executive because I just never set out. I just never set out to do that. But I was like, as long as I'm having fun and fulfilled and, the money was good.
I bet you that makes you a really good leader.
Yes.
I hope so. I hope so.
I think people that go into those things and not being like, people that, in my opinion, people that really want leadership sometimes are the worst leaders because they are like there for their own intent as opposed to doing what's best for everyone else. Yeah. So through this whole journey, then you move into HGTV and you've had all these things. Like, can I ask a random question? Can I ask a random one?
Ask a random
question. All right,
we'll
try it.
Like, is there a project during the time that you're like, I want to know one that you're like, wow, that was a wild, like, what were we thinking? This is the craziest green light we did. And you just got to be like,
whether it failed or.
And then I want to know the one you're most proud of. I know it's No Demo Reno. You don't have to say that.
Yeah, of course.
You can. Let's put that one off the table.
If it wasn't that,
if it's not No Demo Reno, what's the one you're most proud of? And what's the one was like, what were we thinking? And you don't have to. I guess you don't.
I mean, there were plenty of what were you thinking in that.
You don't have to say the name of the show because you don't want to throw shade on people. You're like, well,
it's not that the shows weren't good. It's like part of the job at that time was to like stretch the brand and try to take risks. And that's what I had fun doing.
Sure.
And that's why I left, is because we weren't being asked to take as many risks. And I was
Makes
like,
sense.
yeah. And so, so some of those risks really didn't pan out. I mean, we did one with Thunder Down Under.
I remember that. I remember that about the Vegas male like dancers, right?
It's cool.
Jane.
How can I not greenlight that?
I mean,
so it didn't. Did it?
I don't think it did very well. It aired after I left, so I didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
That was Betsy's
Wait, was that
problem.
a demo? Like it was a renovation show with Thunder Down, like a renovation show?
Yeah, it was truly like they moonlight doing Thunder Down Under, but they're
construction guys.
Yeah, contractors and stuff. They were great.
I'm sure they were.
I remember that poster. I remember that. I think Matt.
It's a little
Blaine,
off, right? It's a little off center for HG.
I think my showrunner, Matt Blaine, was either interviewed or asked if he wanted to do that, and he said no. But
why? Why would he? I mean, it should be a female showrunner, but okay.
I'll say I'm kind of offended by this whole conversation.
Why?
I wasn't asked to be on it. This is insane. Like
we'll bring it back, and this time it'll skyrocket to number one.
It's called. I don't know what's like a little thunder, little rumble.
That's hilarious. Mike's Rumble Down Under sounds like a fart, honey.
It's us.
That's hilarious. I cannot believe you brought that up because I remember that show. I think it aired like after my second season, if I'm remembering correctly.
But, yeah, I mean, I think if you're not challenging and taking risks, you can't grow, right? And I think that's would you think? And I ask you this: do you think No Demo Reno was a little bit of a risk from a standpoint of Jen's background, or did you see it just as her talent? Because again, as a husband, I'd be like, I remember talking to Jen, and I've said this story before, and I don't know, you probably haven't heard it, but we used to watch The Voice back in the day. And I remember like being like, Jen has a great voice and she's very talented and she has theater background and all these things. And I was like, Jen, if you could do this show if you really wanted to.
No, I couldn't.
It's what she said. I go, but I was like, I absolutely could see you doing something because of her just innate.
Well, hold on. Let her answer
charisma
the question.
and talent.
But I'm saying, but like with that being said, it kind of evolved on its own. But did you think that was a risk, or I
wouldn't call it a risk. I would call it like a stretch. Not even. I mean, in that it was. Again, I think of it all.
Compared to like Christina Hack, like her shows, like very different.
Very different,
Yeah.
but she's very different from Erin on
Correct.
Hometown. Like,
And Joey,
and so I'm
And the
looking
Gaineses,
for, although they were gone, they were doing Magnolia by
Sure.
that time.
Right.
But I mean, I think of it like this, and I was always just trying to go like this. I think Thunder Down Under was like that. But,
Yeah.
but like, it was like, what will add texture? And like, you think of it like a platter of food. What will add,
Yeah.
so that it isn't samey. Because it's hard on a channel that is, or a brand that's one thing. It's a single genre. How do you have as much variety so that people don't get bored?
Right.
And so like, it wasn't a risk. It was just like, she's so unique. She pops like, and you talk about one person versus two people. Like, it was good that you were one. Like, we don't have a lot of that.
Yeah.
So-
A solo talent, you mean? Yeah. Well, oh crap. Oh, so I don't know how much was relayed to you, but you mentioned you decided to do something different because y'all weren't not only being asked to take risks, it's kind of like you weren't maybe allowed to as much as in the past.
The ratings pressure, the ratings as in you call them views.
Yeah.
And I call them ratings or
Right.
whatever, was getting higher and higher because cable, is shrinking.
Declining.
And so it was like, safer bets that will get ratings. And it's like, you never really know.
No. And so when I was constantly like applying pressure and let's just call it complaining to everyone at HGTV about how my show at the beginning was like too truncated like everybody else, did you like partly agree to some extent, but you couldn't say it? Because I don't know if you ever got that message, but I mean, that was like probably what people could label me as being like a pain in the butt from that standpoint, is because I was constantly being like, guys, this could be so much. I look like every other show. It's boring. Like I remember saying it just like that, like not very.
Well, that kind of opens up a whole new thing, which is like creators on, television working for a corporate entity like Warner Bros. Discovery, right? So I think, it's like at that time it was like we were learning
Painful.
that people like Jen and others, have had nobody telling them what to do. Do your own content. You're the boss of you, and and that sort of we know our audience too, and again, you want to go like this, and if you just go all the way here, and you're like, you were talking about the burp, you're like burping all over the place, that conservative audience with so it's like this balance, and I think that between then and now, because we're talking like 6 years ago,
right?
I think that networks and streamers have really learned that like it's different. It's a different kind of talent when someone's already has their own brand, has been making their own content and succeeding at it, and to do something completely different on like you coming to HGTV and fitting right inside the box, it's like not being true to your brand.
Sure. Correct.
And will piss
that's how I felt.
People off. And you told me that. I mean, we talked about it.
Yeah. I remember there were so many times where I told Mike, I was like, and this sounds also kind of like conceited, and please, I don't mean it that way, but like I hated being first because I felt like I was fighting a fight for now, which is much easier for creators to get on television. And still, I think networks will still have their say and think what they think, but they're slowly like relaxing and probably letting loose because they have to pivot in order to stay like relevant and compete with social media platforms and other content consumed.
Absolutely.
But like I got down almost to 100 pounds season 1 because it was it's stressful, and I had never been in an environment like that. And it, I don't know, I probably could have handled things better as far as like taking a chill pill, but also every single thing that I fought for or got annoyed or put my foot down or for the sake of looking difficult to the network, I stand with all 10 toes on the ground for why I felt that way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I've never taken one back and been like, I should have not done that. It's like every single one to this day, I'm still like, I told you I wanted to do this season 1. I remember, so you might remember this. There was a show that came on with a girl. So my show went on. I think the second girl who was labeled like an influencer after my show hit season 1 was Chelsea DeBauer. I don't know her in person, but her and her husband Cole do Down Home Fab. And I had talked to her through just us connecting on Instagram. She was a teen mom. She was on the show Teen Mom from MTV.
I greenlit that.
You did?
Yeah.
Great choice, because I think her as a person is very endearing, and I think it was a really good choice of talent. She also obviously had TV experience and a pretty engaged audience. So
she was authentic in what she was doing.
She was authentic. And so anyway.
Part of the world,
her coming on.
the country.
Yeah, her coming on. After I saw that, I instantly was like, they're doing this because my show worked. And like, this isn't, and it was smart. Like, you're trying to pull from a large platform. Then there was another girl who was after that. And I remember watching the first episode and I'm like, she's doing all these transitions that like how I edit my videos. And it's almost like a little bit of social media was into her show. And I remember being like, I tried to do this episode 1 and everyone said it was horrible. However, the show didn't hit. And it wasn't continued.
Such a beautiful show, though.
You know who I'm talking about. Yes. And I don't want to like do any of that. But I think that just shows that like just because someone is a quote unquote influencer or has a platform doesn't mean it always translates to your audience, to your defense of what you're saying.
Well, and so that was, I think that's a big learning across the industry. I think there was a whole like gold rush of like, all right, they've got how many
what's the followers and what's
do they have? Okay. Yeah. They have that many. Let's put them on. And it happened at Food Network. It happened all, but not just at where I worked. Like it happened all. And then I think there was a shift of like, let's learn how to do it. What do you
have to look for things.
Yeah. But what do you bring over and what do you leave? I mean, I guess the big learning over time was like every platform has a different audience.
Correct.
You know, and every platform has different like expectations. And so you can be a little different, but how do you stay within that brand?
Right. Well, what's funny is what I was asking for is like, in my mind, common sense wise, even episode 1, I knew I couldn't make content exactly the same on Instagram because I did know HGTV's demographic was a little bit seasoned, let's call them.
No, it's an like, older demo from
it's an older demo that may not be.
It's not a bad thing. It's just reality where.
But they weren't privy to the new reels and the transitions, and they weren't on those trends yet.
And they'd be like, "What?"
They'd be like, "What the heck just happened?" And so, what I think, just my like business content creator hat in is like where I wanted to do like 1 or 2 things an episode. Y'all went full into that show and the whole show, and maybe to your point, you swung too much too soon versus giving them little bits. For example, putting the burp in season 3 and not season 1. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, like, I do.
For example, I said it in one, the toilet with flowers in it. I still...
So weird and random.
I still like.
Can you mention that in every single episode?
It's one of my favorite things. I'm like, how did you get away with that? She's like, I don't know. I just did it.
Do you know, fun fact, that back in the day, you couldn't show toilets on HGTV at all?
Makes sense.
Yeah, go back to older shows.
Was it a censorship thing?
No,
or
it's
was it just
like a self-censorship. It was like people don't want to think about poop.
Yeah.
So you go from that
to now fully embracing poop.
Yeah, well, flowers.
I'm pretty sure I said poop to Victor multiple times.
Yeah.
So that's progress.
Yeah. You're talking about some of the shows and like, you know, from content creators that bring things over. Like even before Jen, we knew some YouTubers and content creators that put shows on, and they were like, let's make a production of your show, and it like failed wildly, and they went right back to doing things on YouTube because it just didn't translate to the audience and the way that people were consuming it, or nor did they want the control of the network because they're like, we're telling us what to do and we have to be concerned about advertisers. It's like, we're just going to go back in what we do. And now it's gone from like integrating, and then I've even seen now people just syndicating people's shows and just throwing them on Amazon. It's literally just the YouTube channel, which is a whole strange
it's the
thing.
Wild West right now.
Where do you think it's going? What's your opinion? You don't even know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're in this big transition, and it is the Wild West.
Yeah.
And I think it's like all the pieces are in the air, and they'll settle.
Yeah.
And long form will still be here.
I agree.
Yeah.
YouTube will still be here.
Which is interesting. Podcasts are just long form content, which is a whole other thing. It's long form radio. That's all this is.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course you can see this and watch on it, but it creates real conversations. And you couldn't do this on a TV, like, talk show. You know, you'd have 3 minutes, 5 minutes to talk. Tell us about your new production, and you're on the next. Tell us about the crime show. You're like, and that's it. It's promotion. And this
people go to different things for different reasons. Yeah. Like they'll come here because they don't know what you're going to talk about, right? And where it's going to go. But then there's a comfort in going to a late night talk show, and then having those, you know, those beats that you just said, like, tell me about your new show and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what you're doing now. What did you left HGTV to pursue?
Well, I left HGTV to figure out what my bliss was. That was back to that, follow your bliss. Like I didn't know what I was going to do. And it had been almost 20 years at HGTV with all those different jobs, like so good. And so I spent a year and a half.
Good for you.
Figuring that out. And,
good.
You know, again, like being with my son as a teenager, which was, you know, the most I'd been, like he'd come home and I was there all the time.
He's like, Mom, go to work, Mom.
But it was great. And then, then I looked at different jobs, blah, blah, blah. And then so Courtney White, who had run Food Network before I did, she left to start her own production company called Butternut underneath a bigger production company called Wheelhouse. And Brent Montgomery, who runs and founded Wheelhouse, I'd known him for years and years and years. And Courtney said, I am having the best time over here. And she and I had been talking over those 18 months, and I saw how like she was having such a good time. And she's like, would you want to come over or at least talk to us about, consulting about true crime? And I realized, I really like true crime from my ID days the best. I like the storytelling. I like how important the stories are. And, they're more like a play. I mean, everything comes full circle. They're much more like a structure of a play.
Right.
Or a movie,
Yes.
than a format.
Your college days, like what
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll come talk to you. And then cut to like, just talking to them, I kind of came alive and ended up starting my own production company, just like she had done. She's now my boss. She now runs Wheelhouse Entertainment.
So wait, Wheelhouse is like the
Wheelhouse
parent
is
company?
a big company, parent company.
Of production companies.
Production companies, but a lot of other things. They actually work with content creators. They do marketing, investment, work with brands. I mean, Brent is brilliant.
So anything he can kind of invest into, he's going to in the entertainment.
I mean, he puts it all together. So it's called Wheelhouse because it's spokes on a wheel.
Makes sense.
And so he looks at how everything is interrelated, and
he sounds like right up his alley.
Yeah,
like
you guys should
likes
meet.
the meaning.
You guys should meet.
Wow.
It's incredible. He also has a nonprofit that helps people get into television.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And it's called Launchpad, just to give it a plug.
Yeah.
And so...
what's the website? Do you know what it is? Is it launchpad.com or what is it?
Well, go to wheelhouse.com and then you can look at all the different things. So it's not just a production company. And that was really appealing to me too.
So you made a production company
So I'm called a label. It's called a label.
That's cool.
And so he has different labels or different verticals. So with different specialties. And mine is true crime and it's called Twist.
Did you make? Is that your name or did you?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, because there's twists and
turns. Talk to Brent about the naming. He almost fired me before I started.
Because
I was like, nope, no good. Nope, that's not what it should be.
I mean, you talk about true crime, it kind of makes sense, and it's funny. I mean, Jen is a true crime aficionado. I don't know if you know this. Like
documentaries.
That's her thing. Documentaries.
I actually, before I even asked Jane to come on the podcast, which funny, actually standing in this room, we had just got done recording and I told Haley, I was like, I have the number of, like I scrolled by looking for something else and your name whizzed by. And I was like, I have the phone number from the previous HGTV president. What life do I live? And she was like, that is wild. I was like, I should ask her on the podcast. I go, that would be like my dream interview. And she was like, do it. And I was like, she's going to say no. And it was like, dude, just text her. And I texted and you texted back. You probably had your phone in front of you. Obviously it was like 16 seconds. Sure. Exclamation point. I was like, yeah, she's not sure.
Jen texted me. She's like, oh my gosh, Shane's coming on the podcast. Shane's coming on the podcast. What? So it's funny. It's like, is it like, your name popped up on the,
That's
on the
what
credits.
I was going to say.
So it's like,
so we were watching The Girls on the High Bridge on Hulu.
Yeah.
Like 2
it's very
months
well
ago.
done, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Say it.
Watch Capturing Their Killer, The Girls on the High Bridge on Hulu if you like that sort of thing.
It's very well done.
It's like, how do you say it's a tragic, devastating story.
It's terrible.
But it's
awful.
captivating that man is like in their TikTok footage. That right there, just that piece of evidence made that story like insane to me. Like we have him, how come we can't tell who this man is?
And you look and you can't quite see who he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's freaky.
What's unique about these stories, and again, because it's not sensationalizing trauma. That's what one thing is. Like nobody wants that. That's not kind of the the murder porn aspect associated because it's not done in that way. It's done more about telling the story that actually gives the viewpoints of the parents and creates to me, I liked about it is it closes the loop in a lot of ways because I actually remember that story on the news. And it's, you have these little elements, you're like, oh man, it's tragic, feel bad for that family. And then you kind of like lose track of it, right? But then it really does bring into to me, it's like when you think it's like, it's like
honoring the story.
It honors the story, but also it's like, okay, be grateful for the moments you have for your family. Like, what can you learn from these lessons on that? Not saying like be fearful because that's not the whole point of this thing is, but like, what do you do to talk to your kids about just reality, right? And I think that's an important thing. So, but it is a well done, and it's not overly sensationalized. I think that's what I liked about it. It's just
I don't want to be that company, the overly sensationalized company.
It wasn't. I just remember we were sitting there, and it's like the end, and it's like the 5 seconds of black, and you're like, That's devastating. And then boom, the first credit, executive producer, like Jane Latman. I was like, oh, Jane? And I texted you the next day. I took a screenshot.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, Jane,
I love that.
Well, I was just excited to see like your name again. Like, that's big. You were the first credit EP.
Thank you.
It was very well done.
So you have other ones coming out that you're excited about?
I am pitching and pitching and pitching. We do have a series called Bodies in the Water, which is for ID. I know. You know, I think part of what's interesting about that is just for the investigators, it creates it creates much more challenge, right?
Oh.
Sometimes you have to, it's harder to ID them and the forensics are harder. Anyway, so that will be coming on ID, but we don't have an air date yet. And we also did in our first year, it's only been around now for a year and a bit.
Okay.
We also did a fast turn on Max for on Luigi Mangione.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
I think I remember seeing that.
You probably did.
Yeah.
He
you know, you can tell.
the New York story where he shot the CEO of United Healthcare. Remember that?
No.
And then he went
Come
on the
on,
run.
Jay, we talked
What
about
year?
this. Just happened.
Oh, yeah, I
less than a
totally
year
remember
ago.
that.
So here's the crazy thing
You
about
will when you- if you look it up.
you'll know this guy because
Because it was national.
It's national, and the crazy thing is, it's like he's kind of this younger, good-looking guy who was
shooter or the
shooter,
CEO?
yeah,
Shooter.
and it's
and
also
everybody was all like, "Oh, I love Luigi."
yeah, it's because but it's also because
crazy.
what the crazier thing about it is it does, and this is a bigger topic and a whole sidebar on it. The fact that people were kind of on Luigi's side on this guy is honestly just a CEO of a company, but it's because it's healthcare and there's so many polarization issues associated to the national healthcare system that we have right now.
So he was mad at the way the
and there's a
healthcare-
whole thing, and I'm not going to give it away, I can imagine, but there's a lot of background story to like denial of claims that he had, and I think he started having some, obviously mental trauma and, sociopathic, psychopathic issues associated.
really bad back issues.
Yeah. And it just trauma and back, by the way, and back is, it's crazy.
Mike's had some back
Documentaries.
issues.
Yeah. Watch it. You need to watch it because, again, I haven't watched the thing, but I know enough about the story. But what's weird about it is that how much it does show a reflection of how much frustration people have in the way our system works when you actually are like, hey, that's okay, because it's not okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. Like, there's nothing okay about that.
Okay, so are you more so with me and why I like? It's not even like I'm a true crime junkie. I wouldn't put it that strong, but I'm very much a even like with books, audiobooks. I'm nonfiction pretty much only. Like if it didn't actually, it's not a true story, it didn't actually happen. It's so sad, but I'm kind of like, what's the point of
Really
spending time on this? So you are doing true crime, you love it. Do you feel that way? Are you very much a lover of all stories?
All stories.
Okay.
I'm a story person.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you have been good.
Thank you. I saw a report card from when I was in second grade, and he was talking about how I was writing stories. I was like, oh, I don't remember that. But
So you're a you're a creative.
Have you ever
Sure.
considered?
And I love scripted.
That's what I'm saying. Have you done any scripted?
A little bit here and there. I did a couple movies, but it's a whole different business.
Right.
And
You spent your career in non-scripted at this point. Right?
yeah, and there's something about real stories that
stories
and interviewing people in
What's your favorite show that's scripted right now?
Oh, there's not a lot right now that I'm loving.
Nothing?
I need some things to come back.
So she's picky.
I loved Ginny and Georgia. Like, I don't only watch crime.
I need to watch
yeah,
that.
Haley's not her head. I don't even know that. What is Jeannie?
I need to watch that. I haven't ever seen that, but a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah. Good one.
Jane, can you?
I don't know that you'd like it. That was one I watched without my husband.
Okay, that's good that you say that because he is pretty
I have
much
my guilty. No, it's not guilty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is your husband pretty much like he just likes the boy movies, typical standard?
No, like
Okay. I
we
think Mike's
watch
that.
things like Your
just
Friends
that.
and Neighbors on Apple.
Love that.
We did that
We love
too.
that.
Yeah, we love
like,
that.
That was well done. I like John Hamm though.
I do
So do
too.
I.
I think he's a great actor. He's kind of the same character in all things, but we loved Mad Men.
love John Hamm.
Absolutely love Mad Men, and it's like the whole story arcs, the character development.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
Me too. We didn't watch it until like COVID or something.
Isn't that the best though?
Yeah,
It's
to
kind of when we
discover
did.
it.
You could just go through.
Mad
That's how we
Men's
watched
top
Breaking
3.
Bad.
Yeah.
We caught Breaking Bad like at the last season. We're like, what? And it's that's a.
He
Whole,
won't rewatch
That
stuff
is.
with me though. I want to rewatch Mad Men again.
I'm not a
He won't do it.
rewatcher.
I would rewatch it too, but there's so many episodes. It's like
It's a commitment.
it is.
I like when someone asks me like favorite episodes ever, Mad Men is top 3. It might be my number 1, and which is so not like I also love Desperate Housewives. For something about that makes me feel good, like nostalgic when I watched it. Breaking Bad was amazing. So
You
I guess I
also-
do like more intense things.
But you do have trash TV you like to watch, mindless television.
I do.
Like
I do. Well, the trashiest are like the reality TV shows like on Netflix. Like, actually, I don't think.
Sorry, Netflix.
Love is Blind, I don't think is actually. I wouldn't classify that as trashy. I like that one.
We'll call it.
Like Love Island's super. Yeah. Love Island's pretty, but I'll be like.
I'm watching this.
Oh yeah, there's a reason that's so popular.
I just started because everyone's talking about it. Yeah,
but I get to call it trash television.
Yes, you do.
Well, for example, like I talked to Haley and I'm like, I need you to watch more TV. So when we're sitting here working on, whatever, planning, we need to discuss these things, but you don't watch anything. And I'm like, actually, don't watch Love Island. It's not that great. But you do need to watch X, Y, or Z. What else did I like that I was really excited about? I'm like drawing a blank now that I'm on the spot. I watch TV every day because I like it's the only thing that makes me sit and like
you do that you sometimes will do that at night just to wind down. You'll throw something on and she has her earbuds in and she'll like be doing something in the bathroom and that's what I've noticed you doing kind of most of your kind of one-off random TV shows that we don't want to watch together. But
I do the same thing.
Yeah, she wants me to we'll get into documentaries. That's things I'll watch with her, and then with me it's like it's a lot of Apple's been doing some good stuff out there, and so it's
Did you guys watch the morning show? Because that's coming back.
Yes,
Finally.
but we dropped off.
Oh.
Season 3 for some reason.
I don't know why we dropped off. Maybe we got busy.
And there's probably it's
sure.
probably another something we got
so
into.
Good, though.
It's the thing. I don't like watching different series. It's like I want to finish the one and then beyond.
We'll have 2 going at once, depending on our mood.
I like to switch around. Like, did you watch The Studio with?
Yeah. I haven't finished it because you can go back to that. It's not serialized.
Yeah.
So you can just go back and catch an episode, and it's so light. Yeah. Like I like
light.
A little less light, like a little more, like relationships and gripping. Know. But it's funny.
What I thought was funny, I liked about that was the long takes. Yeah. I thought that was
so
incredibly.
Impressive.
It was like, wow, this is like a full on play. Like, what's that Netflix series out right now? We didn't watch it. That's
Adolescence.
All one take, right? It's a wild what I've heard about.
Heard of it.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, I'm going to pitch to you.
Is it? I heard that.
I'm going to pitch something to you. And I need you to put on your rebel pants and really think about this with me.
Rebel pants.
I just made that up.
I don't know what is that a
your risk-taking pants, okay? And I know they're already on. I know they're already on as a producer and developer. So the studio kind of showed the behind the scenes and exposed his world, right? He did TV, right?
It was movies.
What if we made a scripted show about home renovation and you have the host and all the craziness behind it, and then I'm like the showrunner, like it's a cameo, or I'm like a producer, and we produce this, and we're both from where we came from.
But it's a scripted show.
It's scripted, but it would be like
Office style.
Lifting a curtain.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be very funny. And
risky.
It depends what the content is. But I mean,
I'd want it to be real.
But in a scripted show, it wouldn't have to, I mean, you can go there, but there have been a few things like that.
Has there?
Well, there was one like
with a former HGTV host in
making a cameo?
Yeah. I would be like a
Probably
character.
not. I'm trying to think. There was one like that I haven't seen that has to do with a murder. There was one that, I mean, they're just like, I've heard of.
And you could be in it too.
No, I don't want to.
Jane, you could be in it too. Jane.
She's like, I wasn't ready for a pitch right now. I'm not sure. Let me run the analytics on this thing for this one.
I'm not even an actress. I have no training.
But I mean, those things are fun. Like,
I do think,
I think the studio.
Yes.
I don't think that's so crazy.
No, I think
it's risky.
Jen and I talked about this. I don't know if it's risky because one of my things, and I think this is part of the reason why people like seeing true crime and seeing, things like the studio, whatnot. It's like, there's obviously true crime is reality, but you're seeing behind the scenes. You're seeing what's happening with the DAs. You're seeing what's happening with the police. You're seeing what's happening with the families, and you're connecting all these dots together. You're like, wow, I didn't, because all you're hearing during the time is like a soundbite from news or the press announcement from the chief of police, and you're not seeing all the stuff that's actually happening. And even like the attorneys are like, wow, all the investigations. So you're seeing behind the scenes, and that's where the studio gives this little bit of like elements of like, there's got to be elements of truth in this, right?
There are.
Yeah. And you have the network.
One of the actors said that they were basing their character, I can't remember, on he's still there, our CEO, my ex-boss.
Yeah, I heard that. We were in Cabo. We were with a couple. They're randomly with a couple of producers, and we're like, and he was buddies with him. He goes, "Oh, it's 100% him." It's literally he was the one who said that too. What's funny is you're the second person to confirm it. He goes, "Yeah."
Well, I read it. Yeah. Whether it's true or not, we have to all be careful about fake news. Yeah. But we have to look at what's real and what's not. But I believe it. I believe that it was part of it. Like.
Yeah, but it was the Seth Rogen character, right? That's who
so.
It was.
It might have been.
I don't think it was the who's Breaking Bad guy. He's the one that was a little.
Bryan Cranston?
I don't think it was
yes.
Bryan Cranston. He said it was on him because he said he was like a movie guy. He was like, they wanted it to be real, and it was like this tie between like making money and ratings and also cinema, because that's a different thing, right? Like, and you've kind of even said that, you kind of alluded to that, where it's like the risks versus the return.
Safety of it.
I mentioned that in the first podcast, the first season, because I do think it is a business standpoint. It's like, you want to do things, you want to take care of the audience, but at the same time, you got to take care of your advertisers, because that's how you get paid. And if it's about ratings, and I asked one of the producers, I was like, it was one of the first times, it was season 1. I asked her, I said, because I said, what does success look like on a television show? What is it? What do you feel? I go, that's why I said, what does it look like? I go, what is that? What does success look like? Is it, what are you going to be happy with? And she goes, oh, it's ratings. Yeah. The end. That's it. Yeah. And I was like, so you're not even you're happy about the way it turned out? She goes, no, I like that personally, but the only thing that really matters at the end of the day is ratings. And I was like, honestly, and I was like, well, that makes sense. That's, that's what it is, and that
it's a business.
Yeah.
It's a business at the end of the day.
But it's good to have like one goal. Like,
Correct.
You just want people to watch it.
Yeah.
And like, if you can and you have to know your audience, and you have to like research them and know what they like, know what they don't like, know what, every time we do X, Y, and Z, they turn it off. Like, okay, I better pay attention to that. You can be like, but I don't agree with them, so I'm just going to do it anyway. No.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
That was me. She was doing my impression.
No, I wasn't.
I don't care what you say.
But you can have both. Like, I'm such a Pollyanna. You can have both.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good content and
like 100%.
ratings.
That's what you should have.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then that translates to money.
The problem is we talked, I'm not saying it's trash TV because I'm using that term out there, but there are content out there that are just for like shock.
Yeah.
And you get rating. Yeah. It's drama. And it's not like, is it making you feel better? It's like, I kind of look at that when I watch shows, like, how do I feel when I get done with this? And we've watched things before. I'm like, I'm out. I don't feel good.
He doesn't like the documentary stuff as much.
Some of them
if
it gives me a place where it's like, it's not bringing that bliss or that joy. Like, if this is bringing me a place where I don't like, I'll be like, yeah, this one's not for me. I don't like the way this is making me feel. And I know it's a sensitive side of it, but it's reality.
No, that's cool. And I think in terms of creating content, it's the same thing. Everybody gets to decide, but like, you want to be proud of what you do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna make this show. That's awesome.
Are you right now? Is this current venture you're doing right now one of the things you're most proud of? Because it sounds like you're joyful.
Just sort of reinventing and trying something. I mean, frankly, and I was terrified at the beginning because it had been so long since I had produced, so it's like everything was different anyway, and I'd never like run a production company, and executives don't always translate over to production companies. But again, I had the best like infrastructure around me and support, and like, so yeah, it was outside my comfort zone, but it was also like I knew it was the right next step.
Awesome.
I mean, yeah, you like reached quote unquote the top to a lot of people who don't know a lot of different jobs or careers, but like when you hear president, you think top dog, and you literally left that to completely build just like for funsies, like, and to be challenged obviously and fulfilled.
Yeah, that was a hard decision. They call it golden handcuffs for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can relate to that.
That's true.
Yeah. Life.
You're like, you're doing things. You're like, gosh, I want to do something different, but at the same time, it's hard. It's hard to leave something that's been
Yeah. What I'm doing now is nowhere near.
And the hardest thing is,
lucrative.
At least with before I went to the entrepreneurial world, like I was at the company, it actually treated me really well. It really did. It wasn't a bad company. They weren't awful people. I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing. I didn't feel like I was growing anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the part where you're like, you get that weird conundrum. What do I do? What else am I going to do? Especially, I was in my 40s at the time. And it's like, it's like hard to reinvent yourself at that point. But
So I guess this is another question for what you experienced at a major network, but also now what you're doing for yourself. How do you handle like the pressure of like the competition of the TV landscape, but also like getting ratings? Like,
and competing against direct to consumer and, or
it's a hard business, and it's harder now than ever. Yeah. And it's hard on the corporate side. It's hard on the production side. It's very competitive. And again, I think it comes down to like what I've done my whole career is just keep your eye on the prize. Like, what is that thing you need to do next? Like, you can't think about, I shouldn't say it. Sometimes I don't chase a story because I know it's going to be too competitive.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be, I also think in true crime, I don't want to be that person. Like, like elbowing everybody out of the way. No, I want to, get the access to, these stories are very real. Like these are real people and real shit has happened to them.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And, sorry about that.
No, you're fine. It is though. That's a good word for it. Like this stuff is
bad.
Heartbreaking.
And so, I'm like, you know what? I'll take a pass on that one. But it's very hard. And it's funny because I don't think of myself as a very competitive person. So I don't think I'm thinking about the competition.
I don't think you get to be a president of a major network by not being competitive.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I'm going to call you out on that.
I guess I want HG. Like I was competitive I got very competitive when it was a show I wanted.
Yeah.
And then somebody else wanted it.
Yeah. No, I
like,
can
wait
see
a
that.
second.
You're like, no, I want that. Like,
I want that.
I want to bet on that. I would be that way too. And this might be a really stupid like question / statement. And correct me if I'm wrong. You say it's like so competitive, but with streaming and it's like unlimited new stuff coming out every single week, wouldn't it be less competitive than like standard cable when there wasn't as many? So how does that work?
Fewer hours are being produced overall.
Interesting.
If you think about a 24/7 network that every hour of every day shows are on it. Now they don't have premieres every hour of every day, but they want to have premieres as much as they can during prime time, which is going to become extinct, right?
Right.
Think about the number of hours. So they used to order like 13 episodes of this and 26 episodes of that, and they'd renew it right away and never want it to be off the air and all that kind of stuff. And now with streaming, it's more like what they're pushing to the front, right? Mm-hmm. They can always go to their back catalog. Like it's always there, all that other stuff. Do you know how when you turn on Netflix and you see like something in the front page, but you look and it's from 2021 or it's from, they're
boosting it to the front.
Right. And so, so like the library there is so deep, and they're also acquiring shows that are cheaper, not producing them themselves from other countries. And
okay.
I mean, so there's just fewer hours.
That makes
it's
sense.
gotten much harder.
Do you? Okay, it's a hot take question. I'm curious.
Be careful.
No.
Yeah.
But it's not even a hot take because it's super relevant, especially within creative world. How do you think AI is going to impact your world?
Like hugely.
Good or bad?
Both.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
Depends on how you use it, right?
Yeah.
So what could be good from it?
Oh, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, so much. I mean, I think, creative. I mean, obviously it saves time in terms of research, although at this point you still have to check your research pretty carefully because it's just pulling things from all over the internet.
It's a
I was thinking about this morning about like how much falsities there are on the internet. So
yours was not false. Jen's talk track on you from ChatGPT was true.
All legit.
So we know, we fact checked.
I know where they got some of that stuff too. But like, and I think it just speed. It makes things go faster. Yep. A lot of different things, whether it's putting then it hurts jobs.
It does. Yep.
Then it hopefully will create new jobs. I also think the thing that I'm most worried about, and it's really not about my work, it's for my son, and it's how are kids going to know what's real and what's not real?
Amen to that.
It's terrifying.
The only thing is, I think I
don't even know.
Do you know what the hope is for me?
Yeah.
Is that they're just going to believe nothing's real, and then they're going to have to make their own decisions. Because I've even told my kids at this point, like, if you see something that seems probably not real, it's not real. Like, if there's any inkling of a doubt, it's not real. Like, the unbelievable is like, that is hard. That discernment is a completely complex thing.
Do you guys do this where like my husband will say like, here's what I read this, and I'll be like, really? And then I'll be like, wait, let's dig in. Yeah. And then we dig in together and we go, oh, man, something we wanted to be true.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like,
yeah, especially that selection bias that weighs you like things you want to be true. We actually did 2 episodes on conspiracy theories, and then we had this whole thing because like some of it's like, like really cool if it happened, but at the same time,
I got so mad on that episode. I'm like, why are we talking about aliens for 40 minutes? I hate this day.
Well,
I don't like conspiracy theories.
But that is, and no, okay. So Jen mentioned this earlier to me, and I mean, I guess if I'm okay to ask, your son is going into acting. Is that accurate?
Yes, he's studying acting, and
first year of college.
First month of college. He's been gone for a few weeks.
But from an AI standpoint, even on actors. And that mean like the thing is you now have these like legacy people that are selling their own rights to be able to create like an A-list celebrity that can forever act at their prime time forever.
I think the industry and us as people who want to consume will always want new actual actors. I think
and we'll also want live real stuff.
Yep.
I think like plays and real things are going to even, like, my opinion is that those will become even more popular.
Oh, like
look
in
at how
person.
look at how popular sports. I mean, sports has always been popular. But there is something happening now that's like I think it's sports are more popular than ever.
Yeah, because it's
Tarleton State beating Army was no
don't.
AI could do that. That
Don't.
was wild. Go TSU. So I went to Tarleton State. He went to West Point, and they played recently, and Tarleton State won. Thank you for asking that question.
I was like, she seemed she's riveted by that one. She's like,
I'm like, what, the glaze?
I'm just so,
We'll do it.
I'm so frustrated about that one.
Talk about your son for a minute. So
Army beat Navy.
Jane is obviously, we've talked for probably over an hour now of your successes and how truly you're impressive. Like, it's very inspiring, your story. I know you don't think your story is cool, but your story is so cool.
It is cool.
And now you're a mom. So you just put your one and only boy child into college.
My boy child.
Your boy child. I was like, boy child.
Young man.
Into college.
I know.
I'll cry if I think too hard on that day.
Yeah, don't think too hard.
How was that?
It sucked.
Tell me, how did you prepare?
I mean, I think anybody who has kids go to college, leave home, knows. Like, I think they train you because first, you're driving them everywhere, and then they're driving, so you see less of them. Then they're going out with their friends, and you see less of them. Like, it was a little gradual, in terms of time spent.
That makes sense.
But it's still a huge change. And when I say it, sucked, I don't mean that because I'm really proud of him
Emotionally.
but I miss him, and but every time I hear from him that he's doing well or happy with something or whatever, loves a class or made some new friends, I feel better. Mm-hmm. And then every time he's stressed out and worried, I feel less better. He's also all the way across the country.
Yeah.
It just goes by like that. You even though it doesn't.
I don't.
it's really messes with your mind, and then you're like, wait, am I old now?
Okay, so I was gonna say that, and I don't know if this is every person thing or if I want to admit this, but when big milestones happen, it's not necessarily that I'm sad for the child. It's it's an end of an era of my life, which is so self-centered, but it makes you realize life is short, and I'm gonna die soon. That's what I feel.
This one has that more than anything else previously. It's just the empty nest thing.
Empty nest, yeah. It's
and even calling it that, I know people call it other things, great opportunities for fun.
No, that's cheesy, and we don't want any part of that fake happiness crap. It's sad. No, someone DM'd me something one time when I was talking about a birthday, or I was crying. I wasn't crying because I, quite frankly, will shut the camera off anytime I start to tear up on Instagram. I'm not a crier into the phone, but I was getting emotional about something, and the lady was in a DM, don't remember her name, but she said, you've got to think about it as every single year is a total gift, and that your child is so lucky to have that year, and that aging, them growing up, is a gift that not every parent gets to experience. Right. And that kids that, for whatever reason, don't get to stick around for that year, they would give anything for them to get old, essentially, and to leave and to do them out. And now every time I'm sad about something, I always end it with that thought, and it instantly shuts down my sadness. And I'm you're right. Thank you, God. This is a gift. And tragedies happen all the time. When recently it's Camp Mystic, and those parents don't get to be sad for their next birthday. And so not to go deep, but turns my perspective around. And I got to tell myself that when they go to college, Jane, because it's easier said now. But
that's why they call it the present.
Yeah,
because
I love
it's
that.
a gift.
Yeah, the
present. I heard that on Kung Fu Panda.
Seriously?
I did.
That's actually really deep. That's actually really. We were Jane and I were
she's yes.
We love that.
Jack Black, thank you.
That's hilarious.
And I'm also curious to see how a relationship changes.
That's
that.
true.
I hope for the better.
Mean? Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't mean for the worse. Yeah. I mean
as adults,
I see it already, even after a few weeks. He's so interesting.
Isn't that cool? Jen and I talked about that, and it's obviously we're not there yet because our kids are 12 and under at this point. We're still in this evolution. But I have friends that have kids that are out of college, that have graduated at this point, that I went to school with, and their relations change. And I just think about our journeys and arcs with our parents. Reflect, we're not going to be that much different than our parents, hopefully, right? But I think, as I told Jen, I said, to me,
what do you mean?
I'm saying the best and the most impactful change or relationship I had with my parents was when I realized they were just people. And that it actually created a different relationship in a really genuine, good way where I could actually, you build that, you still have that respect in the body. Because you're always going to, my mom's my person. I love her to death. She's
sweet.
The sweetest human being in the world. She still lives in Wisconsin, right? But it's still, there's that love and, empathy and care. And you call my mom and, I can always tell me I'm right, but it's the same time. It's
whatever. Mike does no wrong to sue.
It's also
I'm
true.
sure.
It's like, it's still from a standpoint of like, hey, if there's any frustrations you had about things growing up, or like our kids look back on us and say, oh, you worked on your phone to me, you're home. It's like, well, hopefully at some point they realize like, well, that was their jobs.
That's what I don't want to think about. Like,
no, but they will realize
what I did.
There's a
wrong
journey
in their minds.
That's going to happen.
I don't want to think about that.
I think all
like,
kids,
it hurts
I
me.
think every parent, I think every person at some point realizes that, like, again, I think that's part of the evolution of who we are as people, is that there's that arc. Your son has left the home, and that's, from our standpoint, there's like, we look at that as to me, I look at it almost as a biblical thing. It's like you leave the home, and then you enter your own world, and your parents are always going to be there, but your life and his journey is there, and that's awesome that it sounds like you raised a great son.
He is great. Yes.
So
he still talks to you, which is awesome too, right?
Oh, more now than he did the last couple weeks when he was like trying to say goodbye to his friends.
See, there you go.
So now he's like needing advice,
Yeah.
That's another thing is, again, when you realize your parents like, oh crap, they actually went through these things. So you talked to your mom about those things. Some of the best conversations you probably ever had.
I'm super close to my parents.
That's so nice.
But that was probably happened when, like, as you were older too, right? You're like, Mom, how did the navigation or
I still ask for advice to this day. Like on things, for sure. Like when something happens, it's like, I'm going to tell Mike, I'm going to tell my parents, and like one of my closest friends, two of my closest friends, like there's like 4 people. And their number. Yeah.
How's your husband managed all the side of things with him leaving?
I think he's same as me. We're like, this is really strange. But I think we're starting to figure out make plans. You know what I mean?
Sailboats.
Yeah, that might be, there might be sailboats in our future. We're starting to go, okay, well now we can take vacations, not when everybody else is taking vacations. Where do we want to go? Like, yeah, we're hatching plans.
How long have you been married?
20 years in October.
Good for you. Wow. That's a long time. Okay. Not to get like personal, but like, I would imagine, and maybe I've heard my mom say this, but does your relationship feel slightly different when there's no more kids around?
Yeah.
Like your marriage.
I mean, it's only been a couple weeks. Yeah. So we're still doing our same routines, right? Like all the TV shows we talk about, that's like our thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a little bit, check in a little bit. It's just so new.
Yeah.
We're going to have you back.
We'll come back for updates in Jane's marriage.
Just add "and Jane" to the title.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, no, I've heard people say like it's like not to be negative, but sometimes kids leave and you look at each other and you're like, what happened? I barely know you. Like they're not as close. And so it's good that you guys are like already planning.
Yeah. And I also wonder, like, one kid is different from 2 kids, is different from 3 kids, is different from 5 kids.
Right.
That's true.
And every marriage is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's I hardly know you. We're not going through that, but just sort of what now? I mean, we miss him a lot.
Yeah.
We love him so much.
No, I'm sure. Well, that's really exciting.
What you should do is do what Jen's parents did. As soon as all the kids leave, sell your house and move.
They moved into like a townhome, like in the city.
Oh, we've thought about moving closer to where he's going to college.
No, so this only cracks me up because this is how much like Jen is. Jen is a person anchored with sort of like routine and tradition. She is a strangely extrovert, introvert type of person, and like her home, she grew up in.
Sentimental is the word you're trying to say.
That was hard then.
She
It's very hard.
She's like, you got mad at your parents for selling the home. Like I was like,
I'm like, do you guys even want us to bring our children here? Like I was like, who are you? They're like country. Like we had horses, and then they're selling to move in an 800 square foot high-rise condo.
Yeah, they're having fun.
Yeah, but
they earned that.
No, they aren't done yet. No, I'm just
They
kidding.
didn't want to take care of it anymore, right?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
My parents, not to talk about my parents, but they got married at 22. They had a kid at 23, married at 22. So they were really, really, really young. And to their defense, like they didn't have that. Now people get married in their 30s and they're like living it up and going to parties and nightlife, and they went straight into family and work. So I think it was their time to be like, let's do something we don't
different.
do. Yeah. And they did.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any.
But
I was like, again, I don't have as much attachment. I was like, just. It's our house. I mean, it's their house, not your house. I mean, this is our house. Like, what are you talking about? That's not your house anymore.
Are you going to sell your house?
But
now?
they moved. Yeah.
I don't think so. I love our house. Yeah. But we might rent it out.
Okay, that's the same thing as selling in my mind.
Well, not because you can be more controlled.
Always can go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but your parents, they did the 2 years in the condo, and then they're now in a house again. And it's like, the thing is like, they wanted to have places for all the grandkids. And once Jen's brothers had kids as well, it was a different story. They're like, we need a bigger spot. We want to have a place that everyone can centralize.
Yeah, they cared then.
Yeah. but that's everyone's journey, which is what's cool about life is that I don't think you even said this in the standpoint of like, your journey has been, following your bliss, looking at opportunities, work your butt off, right? And seeing where kind of things go. And, hopefully using, I said that we're discernment as well, but like, we don't know what choices are going to come our way unless we're willing to take risks and chances. You said that about shows. And I probably would think that about your career as well, right? So what advice would you give somebody who you have this, so I'm sorry, I forgot his name, your Wheelhouse owner?
Brent.
So he has that nonprofit that talks about getting people into television, right? So if you were to give somebody that wants to get into this career, you give them one piece of advice, what would you say to them? Obviously, because you have production side behind the camera and you have in front of the camera.
Right.
Two very different journeys.
But I still think if you're coming in at the entry level, take any job, do anything, work, the old
that old school mentality, baby.
Yeah, but also first one there, last one out kind of thing. Not sometimes literally, but just like be that person who never say that's not my job.
I think that's a given,
that's
but like that nowadays things are very different.
Yeah,
like,
and
but
it's
not my job.
It's all about results. So whether you're a production assistant on a set, right? And what else do you need? What else do you need? Can I carry that? Blah, blah, blah. Or you're, an assistant at a more of a corporate side. Right. But anything to get your foot in the door, even if it's not, again, like goals don't, it doesn't go in a straight line. So even if you want to be on the corporate side, take a production job that'll help you on the corporate side.
Mm-hmm. Right. And don't give up, right? That's the thing is I look at that even on the,
at what point? Well, at what point do you give up?
Well, we'll pivot. I guess if you're just, it's 10 years and you're still in the entry level, it's probably, the writing's probably on the wall. It's probably not necessarily the right career field for you. But there's people on content creators, for example, they want instant.
Yeah, don't give up.
They think that they see somebody just rocket ship, but they're looking at, they have no, you're not looking at the videos of these people been posting for 6 years that had 4 people watching them and that constant figuring out the algorithm.
It's a little different now. You can go viral super.
You can, but that's unreal.
You can't plan for that.
You can't plan. You can't. But that's the thing is you just got to keep
consistency, resilience, keep going, patience.
And that's, and also not, again, it's the desire of what behind it is what are you doing it for? If you're doing it to become famous, I don't think that's the right goal. Do it to do something of value, to create something that people would want, and probably the same thing on the production side. What are you doing it for?
Well, we have to move on to, we're going to ask Jane.
Oh, this is important.
We've gone over an hour 30. So we're going to do.
This is a very important section.
We're going to do.
It's really important.
We have a little segment that we end each episode with called the jar of weird questions.
I was like, maybe she'll skip that one.
No, this is arguably why people stay on for an hour and 30 minutes.
So you ask. All
right, these are okay. We're doing number ones this time.
Have her pick a number.
Okay.
Have her pick a number. Jane, pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
Okay.
I always choose 7 too. If it's not good, pick a different number. She doesn't know which one it is. I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'm going to read this as is, and I might reword it. Okay, it says, if you were a contestant on a reality show, which one would you dominate? So which reality show would you dominate if you had to be a contestant in any reality show?
You don't have one?
You don't have one?
I'm trying to think.
No.
I don't either. That's a hard one.
Look, I'm not going to get into you would crushed it at The Apprentice because you're boss lady. You'd have crushed it. You'd have done great on that one. I'll answer that one for. I'll ask you one more. Okay. What is the most embarrassing song you know every word to? And you have to sing it.
No,
I'm not going to sing it. Really embarrassing. I don't know if people even know this song.
What is it?
Killing Me Softly.
Yes, I know that song.
Doesn't know that song.
My son wouldn't know it.
Oh, I knew that.
Which version?
Roberta Flack.
Yeah.
Right, because they remixed.
She's thinking of the Lauryn Hill version.
Yes,
That's
okay.
what
I forgot that has actually been
so it revitalized.
But I'm talking. I had
the original.
45.
I think
nice.
People don't even know what that is.
I actually don't know what this is. It's cassette tape?
Tiny record.
Tiny record. We explained it to my son the other day. Like, so you would have an album, have a bunch of songs on side A, a bunch of songs on side B, and it would take the one that they wanted to make into the pop hit and put it on one song on a record.
Yeah. So A side, B side.
A side, B side. And I think wouldn't that be
and
what they kind of
remember the little
radio?
adapter? Don't you remember the little adapter?
It's like a donut.
The donut adapter. You had to put it on the adapter there.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't have to go down that rabbit hole, but I mean, I learned. So I got the words in again pre-internet, like by just playing it over and writing it down. So that's
She answered that quickly. I know a lot of songs, so I don't even.
Well, you know songs, you don't know why you know the words of those songs, and you're singing. You're like, I don't know why I'm singing this song from.
I'll turn on the most vulgar
2000s
early 2000s
hip
hop or rap, and it's like, and I know every explicit lyric. And I'm like, I look at Mike and my mouth is moving. I'm like, I genuinely don't know how I know the lyrics to this song. It's just like implanted. Isn't that weird?
You do believe in aliens.
It's injected.
You think that's aliens injected?
It's the conscious, unconscious. That's like, where is it feeding from? Is our brain just tapping into a whole nother opportunity? Is there a muse that creates creative opportunities? Like, where do these ideas come from? There's a whole aspect of where does it come from?
Crazy.
Is it spiritual? Is it internal? I don't know. See, I can ask.
Well, on that note,
pull one question. Have her ask you one. Just pull one random one from that jar.
So ask Jen.
Ask Jen. Yeah.
Would you get each other's boogers out if they couldn't?
Yes.
100%. I have to dig them out
easy.
all the time.
I do that.
All right.
I do that for free.
Fair enough.
I do that.
Do you want me
I
to get
actually.
you want me to get
her.
booger out of your nose? Come on, Jane.
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks.
We're booger people.
Okay. Fair enough.
Jane, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Also goes down in history for the first interview, but also the longest episode we've ever had.
Yes.
So thank you for doing this. I really, really appreciated it. And it's been awesome making TV with you back in the day. And
likewise.
I'm
we'll
excited.
make TV in the future.
Look, I'm excited about seeing this scripted thing come to reality.
Me too.
This is my personal thing that anything comes from this, I'm going to...
Me too.
Start with the title.
Yeah, well, I'll get to you.
Well, that's what it's called.
What?
It's called The Title. You actually just said it. That's
the title
name.
meeting.
That's it. That's the name of the show.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. To Miss Jane Latman, as always, please subscribe. If you want to leave us an awesome 5-star rating, we'll take it. If you want to leave a 1-star rating, maybe go to the bathroom or get busy because we don't want it. But thank you so much.
And take a look at all Twist Productions. There's so many great things coming. Honestly, really, you guys are putting great content out there, and thank you. And again, really appreciate you doing it. Thank you for letting me interject my randomness into this because I don't know if I hope I added value.
You so did. And with that, thank you for listening. Bye, guys.